Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. We're going to be talking to nobody a little bit later, but we are going to do our own little episode here. It's kind of a roundup. We do roundups over on our other podcast, Grimerica Outlawed. Some of you might know that, some of you don't. It's just sort of a weekly thing we do where we talk about whatever we want. A lot of times with some articles or some clips, and we go back and forth. Sometimes argue, sometimes not. But people can check that out if they want to get it all the time. GrimericaOutlawed.ca. We had an interview fall through this week, so we figured we'd just, hey, let's do one over here.
Well, we kind of just chose not to bother rushing because I was kind of thinking it's more of like a semi-celebration of lifting the censorship up. Like some of the censorship has been lifted. Our Grimerica Outlawed channel is back. Our YouTube channel is back. Not that it's a big deal, but like so. I thought we should do something because we do these roundups on the other channel. I thought it'd be nice for us to do one kind of more esoteric for the Grimerica show, and then maybe get some other people over to our other YouTube or other podcasts.
Yeah, mostly the podcast, I would say. I don't want to get too comfortable with the YouTube just yet.
No, but it's just a sign. It's a symbol to me. It's not. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to get more people subscribing to it. So
it wouldn't hurt to get more people
because we're streaming there right now, as well as the other channel, and and this one we can take super chats. So we Darren's done a good job at like getting this back on track, getting it remonetized. Not that we're getting any money from it, but we could get your money from it.
I made $50 today. I don't know, in the lot. That's our thing. So there's no money in the we don't make any money from YouTube, but it does give you the ability to sign up as a membership over here if that's where you're listening to the show. So you can that's kind of the monthly. You can do it as a couple monthly levels. And you can do super chats, of course. I think now the problem with super chats is you might only be able to do those when you're watching live.
Yeah, probably.
You can't super chat a past video.
I don't think so.
Is that can you tip? Can you do anything?
I don't think so.
Nothing?
I don't think so. I mean, I never see the option when I'm watching videos and stuff. So
seems like a missed opportunity. I mean, considering YouTube's taking 35%, you think they'd be all over it. So there is that. You can always just send us some support at grimerica.ca/support. And although PayPal and Stripe and those people do take a cut, it is a lot less than YouTube and some of these other guys. They really rake you over the coals. They really do. It's something else. Same with the audiobooks, right? I mean, we get 25%.
Yeah,
25.
That's unbelievable.
I would argue less from Spotify. Maybe 15.
Well, and the problem is they don't even have to tell you really how it's working out. They can just make your number variable, which is weird. So, and you can just get less and less and less. It reminds me of, what you're getting from Netflix or something. You get the price goes up just automatically. It starts going up and up and up. And I don't know. It's weird.
Somebody's making more money.
Yeah.
But it's not us. Unfortunately, we could be making more money. If you go to Grimerica.ca/support today, sign up for monthly or make a one-time donation. Of course, we're talking about our roundups that we do on the other show. You can head over there and sign up there, and that helps us. You can buy the audiobooks, and that helps us. You can just watch the audiobooks.
But this is just value for value. There's no extra content on this channel. I want to make that clear. This is all everything. You get everything. Your donations are just strictly going into helping us out, helping the show, not extra content. But over at Grimerica Outlawed, we do have a paywall for extra content, for longer interviews and extra roundups and stuff. So we started streaming the first half of the roundups on the other show again since the YouTube came back up, just for the hell of it, because we can. But
yeah, eventually I'll probably have to level out.
That's what?
It'll have to sort of level out into each of its channels, or we could start confusing some people.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're not watching the videos, the best way to get the show is just go get the podcast. Then you get all of it. There is some stuff that's not on the YouTube channels because it can't be. I mean, maybe it can be. Maybe we're into a world where it can be, but they made me delete it all. So I don't know. We're kind of in this. But so what I've been doing is taking the stuff that they made some of the stuff they made me delete and just throwing it up on that new Outlawed YouTube channel because they gave us that one back. So it can be like, okay, well, let's see what you do when I throw all this stuff over here. All the stuff that, I mean, not even that they made me, the stuff they deleted off of our YouTube channel. So we'll see what happens. It is a curious time.
It is. Yeah, very.
With the censorship stuff. Because, you know, there might be some people on the other side that think it's good. Do you think there's people on the other side that think the censorship is getting worse? Is there anything that's being censored more that we're maybe missing, do you think?
Well, I don't know if we want to get into the culture war and all that, but yeah, they think that Elon's censoring the left. Like, it's crazy to me because there was overt censorship going on and that people didn't even realize there was censorship going on. And now that Elon's taken over the platform and Trump's in power, they think that they're being censored. The other side thinks that, not that we're on the other side either, but you know, they think they're being censored from Elon and stuff too. And it's like, well, what? So you're being you think you're being shadow banned? Like, I thought that was a big conspiracy, like last 5-10 years, that there's shadow banning and all this. And now you think that Elon's shadow banning. I mean, maybe, but you know,
What
it's
about actual bannings though? I mean, we could prove it.
right. Look at, okay. There's these people like Hassan Piker and Destiny on the left that are doing way more, 10, 100 times worse than what we got banned for, that other people got banned for. I mean, advocating violence, all this kind of stuff. Like, it's terrible, terrible. Like, not just like free speech stuff, but against the law stuff. And they seem to be fine. They seem to be fine. I think they got in trouble with YouTube recently, maybe. But I mean, what I would wanted to check out was how was it Twitch and Discord and all that were in Congress answering questions.
Oh, I don't know nothing about
Because
that.
that's the problem, right? Now we've also got, you know, these Discord groups that are in trouble because of the Charlie Kirk thing. And
See, there it is. So be it. So it is. Says it's a trap. That's kind of my thought too. Could be a trap. Like I say, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, I know.
So that we can make, because Canada's like passing these weird laws, so they can let us online wherever they can, so we can say some stuff to get us put in jail for as long as possible. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm getting Michael vibes from So Be It, So It Is.
Oh, it's a trap. Take it carefully, China and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's all such a weird time. I'm just trying to be fascinated by the whole thing instead of disappointed, because you know, I don't want a revolution. I don't want any violence. Just let's just watch it. Like, let's it have an organic, faster, hopefully collapse, or attempt at and I don't mean like a physical collapse. I mean like what I think is going to happen is, because we probably don't talk about this on the show a lot, or maybe we do, but I think that they're going to try and do this digital ID, and they're going to try and tyrannize us again. And there's a whole bunch of people, especially in Canada, that will just go along with it. They want it to be. I mean, the different, where we're living in different universes completely, and there's a whole bunch of factions in each universe, but they're going to do it, and there's nothing really we can do about it. We can't really stop it, and because there's too many people that want it. There really is. There's too many people
either
that
way,
just want it.
even if they're not going to do it or they're going to do it, there's nothing we can do about it.
There's nothing we can do. So but that's the only thing. Like, I'm really into this theory right now.
Still come on the internet a couple times a week and try and do something about it. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to resist. I'm not going to just surrender. I've surrendered spiritually, I guess, not physically. Like, of course, I'm not going to.
You just surrendered to the outcome, not the battle. You just kind of who cares how it ends up? We're just, I'm here and I'm going to do my role and
because I think it's a positive thing. We have to go through it because the rest of humanity doesn't understand. I'm not saying we don't, but the other universe doesn't understand what's happening and they will. And once the attempt fails, because it will fail, they'll have to push this digital ID, push all these new regulations, all this new stuff. And people will just be like, what is going on? Like, what, I'm only allowed one steak a week, or all these little memes you see about carbon credits. It's like, yeah, they want that to happen. It's going to happen, but that needs to happen in order for everybody to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, let's not use technology like this. Like, there's going to be enough people that say, whoa, whoa, Like, you're not going to control it. You unelected elites
Probably in waves,
aren't
right?
going to control, aren't going to be in control here. That's what's going to happen. But we have to go through that first. It has to
Probably
get
in
pretty
waves. Like each
painful.
wave will garner more resistance. More people wake up with each sort of like new.
I don't think
Because
it'll be
everyone's got a different thing that's going to trigger them, right? Like I was surprised to see honestly the digital ID one. I was surprised to see the uproar and some people that I thought might otherwise not be paying attention. So it's like COVID hit some people, and the digital ID is going to hit some people. Well, with other people, it's the fucking guns. With other people, it's going to be the meat. I mean, you fuck with the meat, man. People are going to some
right.
motherfuckers are going to freak out in North America. You know,
Yeah.
we'll see though. I've just sort of, it is what it is. Just ride with it.
So be it. So it is. Says as long as we keep breaking through the compartmentalization, then yeah. But the algos are strong. So is the optogenetics. I don't know what the optogenetics means, to be honest. I don't know what that means. That word. I've
What
heard
does
it
the
a couple times.
assistant say?
What?
What does the assistant say?
I don't know. Should I ask it? The assistant is not working very good these days.
It's bad.
It's breaking down. It's breaking down. It seems to be that definitely seems to be getting worse.
But I went to Grok for my research today, and holy, I had shivers up and down my body. I was like, this is unbelievable. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I was super pleased with Grok's response. But I mean, ChatGPT can't even give me a pronunciation of a word in 30 seconds. Like if I have to wait 30 seconds for a simple little query, like they're gonna lose the AI race. Like how maybe they primed people too fast with that microsecond.
You're having visceral reactions with the AI over on Grok.
I know. That's crazy, eh?
When was the last time a person gave you shivers like that?
Never.
Oh boy.
Optogenetics?
Optogenetics. OPTO genetics.
Oh, light to control cells. Oh, okay. Well, express light sensitive ion channels or proteins. Light activation. Well, so it's kind of like what Nicole does with biophotomodulation, that kind of thing. So I don't know how I guess is he talking about blue light and computers and all that stuff? Maybe that's why we're all stuck on our blue light screens. I guess maybe that's what he means.
Blue light, buddy. I've been getting all the light lately. All the light. Yeah. Before I forget, so I want to do two things. We do have some spots of this is sort of probably the last chance with it coming up 3 weeks away. Your last chance if you want to come with us to the Azores with Randall Carlson and friends. It's going to be a hell of a trip with a hell of a bunch of great people. And of course, you get to hang out with Randall Carlson the whole time. You might get sick of Randall Carlson if you can. I mean, he's a pretty fun guy to be around, so that's probably not going to happen. But that's just to say you have, pretty unfettered access to Randall and friends for 12 days straight, eating, not sleeping. We'll sleep separately. But hanging out, riding around, going to the sites and searching for Atlantis. And not just on a tour like some of the other stuff we're done. This will be more of an expedition with the Randall. All the Randall you can handle. So there is some last minute spots for that. Let me know. Darren at Grimerica.com if you want to if you're interested in that. So you got to book flights, blah, blah. You don't need a visa. It's pretty easy to get into if you're in the US or the States. So it's really or the US or Canada. It's really just a matter of booking flights. I'm assuming Europe is the same because it's the EU, right?
Yep.
So it should be pretty easy for everyone to go. So no excuses. Last chance. Get in on it.
When you said it's an exhibition, like they're going to be checking out the cart ruts and some megalithic stuff. Like I think there's a menhir or a dolmen there that seems to be, pre-Portuguese. So there's a lot of evidence that.
And we're hooking up with like Portuguese renegade scholars there as well to work with Randall. And they're like, oh yeah, they're already hitting it off in the staff meeting. So it's really going to be something else. But we have some sad news, of course. Our buddy Matt Apocalypse was supposed to be coming, and he's had an accident. So we did want everyone out there to send some good vibes that way. Hope he gets better quick. And I'm not going to go into any further than that, but we just hope Matt gets well quick. We know he's listening. Get better quick, buddy. And we hope to see you on another event real soon. Hopefully, I was really looking forward to meeting Matt because we've been talking to him for years about this Azor stuff. So it's sad, but I'm sure he's going to be better real
next
soon.
time.
And we'll do it again, and we'll all get together and do it next time. So contact at thecabin.com. Of course, if you do want to get over there with us, best wishes to Matt and family. And audiobooks. Kingdom of God came out. I think that's the newest one, right? Tolstoy.
Well, I don't know if it's the newest one. It could be. Yeah, it's
Actually, the Smoky God probably is the newest one.
Yeah.
Which one was better?
Well, the Kingdom of God, some of it was really good, but then it got pretty deep for me, Tolstoy. The Smoky God was that whole synchronicity with me, because I'm still reading. I'll be done tomorrow, actually. Paradise Found. I think it'll be tomorrow or the next day. Paradise Found. Because the Smoky God references that book. That's that big synchronicity I had a couple of weeks ago. So it's pretty interesting. It's based on a real journey towards the Arctic. Dude, you're gonna be blown away by this book, The Paradise Found. I mean, it really is interesting to see what they thought, like the Eden and the start of humanity was in the north, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, I've been wanting to ask our assistants about if what made the theory fall apart, or why isn't it accepted, or what's going on with it. But yeah, pretty interesting.
Basically, is this like Hyperborea stuff then?
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. It's all in there. I mean, but all over the world they had legends of like humanity coming out of the cold and in the north, right? But I think their theory is that it used to be warmer there, right? When the planet was warmer, that was habitable before, because the equator would have been too hot, right? Maybe. I think that's part of their theory. So it goes back.
Yeah, maybe. Or the equator might have been like, this could have been when the Sahara Desert was at the pole.
Yeah.
We don't have evidence that the Sahara Desert was at the pole, but we do have evidence for sure that there was a major ice sheet there, which would imply that it's at the pole.
There's also a bunch of flora and fauna that doesn't fit up there in the Arctic Circle. That, like, it really just shows that was something else back then. So maybe that was that.
So
maybe
Arctic Circle, that's like northern Canada, northern Russia.
Yeah,
pretty much those two.
Yeah.
I wonder what's up there now. I wonder how much you could just go see now. I mean, that really is.
You can go into the earth from up there. That's what they thought back then, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go that far north, but like those islands up north, I mean, they were just going back there now and like pulling out these dudes that have been frozen there since they were trying to explore it back in the 30s, in the 20s. I've been watching this shit on YouTube about all these expeditions, that the first dudes that tried to go up there, and it just ended in complete fucking tragedy. Like going up between Greenland and those two, that strait. Yeah, man, it's crazy stuff. Those dudes, like, I mean, there seems to be some evidence that they ended up eating each other that they don't want to talk about, and different things like that. But I mean, I don't know. I might eat a motherfucker if I was hungry enough and he was just dead and frozen.
So this is the one that Smoky God talks about, these islands. So they traverse past all these things.
Where's that then? Zoom out now?
Spitsbergen. One of these is Spitsbergen, I think. Svalbard, which has the very like D&D. I think that's even the name of a big D&D frost giant module.
You should look at those. And that was probably all above land, that whole thing, right? Before the ice melted.
Well, that's interesting, eh? That whole plateau, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, eh? Huh.
I wonder when that flooded out. How deep is it, you think? Does it tell you? Does Google Earth tell you?
It might actually.
But anyway, if you go up to that island by Greenland there, like, man, I bet you like none of that shit there. You could still be doing like frontier stuff up there. It'd be tough and cold and you'd probably die, but you could be doing it.
Thanks, LEZ. Awesome. We got a super chat.
Because there's that big, huge. Yes, thank you. There's a big, huge national park up in Northwest Territories that you can't even get to it. There's like that. I think they were saying there's. Oh man, only a few hundred people.
I have to share the map now too. So Yellowknife is there.
Yeah,
right?
go left of that. It won't show the park, so we'll show
There's
the park.
NT, Northwest Territories. How come there's no line between the?
Zoom in like right around
There
there.
it is. Is that it? The Tlico lands?
No, that's some Indian stuff.
There's more Indian stuff. Indians got a lot of land up there.
Probably like zoom in right.
In this park reserve, that Nahanni National Park Reserve, that one.
I think that's one of the crazy.
That's got to be wilderness there, eh? All these mountains there, like that's got to be the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
that park. That's probably what you're talking about. No
one's been up there since they were looking for gold. Really?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of crazy dudes getting their heads cut off. Can you drop the little dude in there anywhere?
Sure. Maybe right in tungsten. Maybe.
I think they'll let you. Oh, you can.
Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured. I pictured it to be more foresty, I think that
national park was east of there, but maybe not. It might be Nahanni National Park. I mean, it's bigger than England.
Yeah.
That's cool. Cold, but it's cold as shit, though. I don't know if I'd be into all that. So, coming to trip. Oh, another super chat. Thank you, Pete. Stronic.
Wow.
Amazing. Stronic. Anyway, thanks. That is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So, thank you guys. If you guys want to support the show, grimerica.ca/support. Sign up for a monthly or make a one-time donation. Oh, I don't think I have any new ones to mention this week. Actually, you know what I do? I wonder if I can. I think I do have one.
Yeah, I thought I had one too. I was just looking, but I don't think I've answered them, and I think I sent it to you maybe or something.
That's right. We do have a $50 donation from Steven Seidel. Thank you for that. And then we had another good one from Steve Hannum. 2 Steves, double Steves. Steve Week. $250.
Wow. Thanks, Steve. That's amazing. Appreciate it. That's a huge help. Holy. That's good.
It really does help the numbers because times are tough. So there is always a churn on our subscribers. We're losing a few subscribers all the time. I mean, to be honest, we have still not recovered fully from the PayPal apocalypse. Where we lost 100 people in one day. We're still clawing our way back up to that number we were at when that happened. And of course, it happened when we're flying high. We're we're going to spend some money to go interview DB Cooper's son on location. And while we're there in the hotel, 100 people cancel their subscription, which is, I mean, that's 25%. That's for trust. It was fucking massive. Anyway, I digress.
And that was part of the censorship problem, right? That was part of the censorship thing. And we had already made
everyone freaked out because PayPal said they were going to charge them money for hate speech or something. I don't know. I can't remember exactly the wording, but a bunch of influencers freaked out about it and got everyone fucking going. And then ultimately it just cost us all money.
Actually, that was the second PayPal fiasco. I think we had another one because PayPal, that was sort of after all the censorship, and PayPal disconnected us once and we had to re-get it back. And that was during COVID. Yeah, interesting times. And then we started up the Grimerica Outlawed. So that's why we're doing these roundups now.
That's
because
right.
we started using that as an outlet for our frustrations with what's happening in the world, or our fascinations, I guess, which I am blown away today by what we're going to talk about. I really am.
Yeah, the Astoria group.
That's a really, really, really small part of it. That's just Jason Reza Georgiani's latest post that I want to talk about.
Interesting.
But I want to put together my own little theory on some stuff. So,
all right. Well, do you want to go first?
Well, let's start with this warning to Trump about Russia.
Ooh, there's a warning.
Sorry, not about Russia. Why did I think Russia? About this is Uri Geller. I have a terrible feeling there might be an attempt on your life, President Trump. I am getting bad signals. Israeli Uri Geller was part of SRI's early remote viewing study. Some say he's legit psychic, others say fraud.
Hi, this message is for you, Donald Trump. Wow, it's amazing that you're coming to Israel.
Pause it.
Incredible that you're going to.
You know, my take on it would be if he would have just like shut the fuck up and stayed off social media. And I'm not even talking about just this thing. I'm just talking about like in general. There was like a level of mysteriousness to him that made me more thinking he's legit.
Who?
Uri Geller.
Oh.
But lately, not even just about this, but just being on social media and doing all this stuff, you just saturate it so much that it's like, well, you haven't hit any dingers lately.
Well,
you're not, arguably not even single.
Maybe this is a dinger.
Give a mind-blowing speech in the Knesset, but from there, you might be flying to Sharm el-Sheikh. Please read my message. I'm just very concerned. Very concerned. Please read the entire message. I say don't go there. Don't go to Sharm el-Sheikh. But if you do, make sure that you're protected, super protected, all around you. Don't let anyone close to you. And be careful. Be very careful.
Stay protected from Jezebel and the witches.
I thought the witches were over here.
They are. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
So, and then in the meantime, so here's my point. I think that he didn't go to Sharm el-Sheikh. I think he came right home. That came out before, and like he was there. I think he was only there to sign that thing and do the thing that he did, and then get all the prisoners released, and make history. And then I'm just sort of being tongue in cheek in some ways, but and then I thought he came right back. So maybe they listened to Uri, Darren. Maybe he's legit.
So he went already and he didn't get shot then?
No, he's back. Like he didn't go to Sharm el-Sheikh. He just went to the first place.
Did he go and touch the wall?
I don't think so. No, you don't do that every time you go. So did you see this concert from the pyramids?
I've seen some of this, yeah.
So like, I mean, and this is happening at the same time, I think. But let's just look at it. It might be a little hard for the audio because it's gonna be like Arab EDM or Egyptian EDM with some crazy visuals at the pyramids. So the way the lighting works, it goes with the sound here, and there's two pillars, which could be maybe Yakim and Boaz or whatever the two, or maybe the pillars of the other pillars symbolically, and then the pyramids light up, and then they don't light up. They disappear basically with that light. And then the pyramid, look at the top of the pyramid, just with the lasers coming off it. I mean, that's crazy.
I wonder how much you gotta pay to get to do that. I would better watch it.
And then there's some weird like
copyright strike for that.
Light. There's some weird light curtains coming off that.
I can't believe they let him do that.
And then look at this one. Well, I mean, that's the thing. So my point is that has to be like the antiquities people like Zahi and all them have to agree to all that, right? They book all these massive,
heavy.
They got someone got lots of bakshish.
You better watch with the music though.
Okay, I'll just play a couple of this. Have you seen this?
I think I've seen like a screenshot of it.
This is insane. So just I can't wait. I can't wait for some symbolic analysis on this stuff, but this looks like, to me, it's like a mummy, like an android / mummy almost coming out here. So it's a giant, like basically a Titan-sized graphic. Okay, I'm gonna mute it here and just see this thing. It's too bad because it's breaking through the glass. This mummy thing.
Breaking.
And now watch it just come right out over the crowd and just stare at everybody. It's so creepy, dude. Right?
Yeah.
It looks like an ancient.
It looks like a robot or more than anything, I'd say.
But look at the stonework on top of it. So, and they've got the devil's horns there that are cut off. So to me, it looks like an android wrapped in ancient cyclopean stonework.
Breaking through the glass ceiling.
Breaking through the glass.
Wall, I guess, not a ceiling, but they should have made it a check if he was going to do that. Like trying to be president.
Blatant pyramid ritual. Blatant pyramid ritual on 10/10/2025. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some good analysis coming to that. But so, anyways, that's just kind of like a primer, but I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I like it. Would have been a good show to be at. Eventually, you'd have a headache, though. You know?
Yeah.
It is kind of, I mean, considering what they try and stop you from doing at all those sites, it seems crazy that some band can throw some lasers on top of it and let's fucking party.
That's why.
That being said, the culture over there does seem to be that money talks.
Well, maybe they should clean up some of the rivers of garbage.
Money's not for that, Graham. Money's not for that.
They can't some of the money go back to the people of Egypt? I mean, there's more garbage there than when I was there in the 90s. It seems like the 90s, the garbage I saw there in the 90s is still there underneath 30 years of garbage.
Ooh, we should have went and grabbed some. Start checking some expiry dates.
See how long it's been there. Well, I mean, they just don't clean it up, so it just stays there forever.
And it doesn't break down.
But that's why I thought that had to be some symbolism there, because I don't think they would let that stuff happen at the pyramid without it being like pretty important symbol.
I wouldn't rule that out, but nowadays I would say, if you got enough money, they'll just let you do whatever the fuck you want. Zowie needs cash.
Yeah.
The hookers are getting more expensive. Right? Wasn't it Von Daniken that was talking about that?
Well, here, let's since you mentioned that.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a lead in?
Yeah.
You're overseas. You're being told how great you are. You're sitting at a bar and they know what you're into, guys, gals, combination thereof, drugs, whatever. And they'll hook you up and you're thinking you're the stud. Your wife's away. Nobody will know, halfway around the world. You end up sleeping with somebody and then, you're out. Next day you're flying back to America. You're back front row at the church, and then you're getting ready to make a key vote. And somebody comes up and whispers in your ear, "Hey man, were you in a motel room with a girl in, Istanbul or something?" And you're like, "Oh crap." He goes, "Man, we don't want that out." And he goes, No, we don't. We're not going to put that out. He says, "If you can help us on this little bill though, Now that's the way they used to do it.
Or Ladyboy in Bangkok, maybe.
And I'm not so certain they don't do that now. And it's funny, when I did that show with Benny, I caught hell.
So you said that.
I said that. And members said, "Oh, you can't be saying that stuff, Burchett."
Why?
Truth hurts, I guess, for some people and other people.
Have you ever, by the way, just parenthetically, ever been attacked for saying something false or only true things?
Only true things.
I just thought I had that kind of ready to go anyways, how the honeypot system works in the CPP. You just sit apart one night and you're just like, "Oh, this lady's paying attention to me." Meanwhile, she's a spy.
Bum, 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 bum. Well, you get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to build into this theory of yours.
Okay, you want me to jump into it then, or?
I think so, yeah.
You want me just to go roll with it? It's going to be a little bit about it's going to be about the UFOs and the occult and stuff. So let's I'm going to just prime the pumps a little bit here. And I want your feedback on all this. See what you think. So this is, first of all, somebody in the Space Force talking about the hierarchy of beings.
Tyler described a hierarchy of beings.
Part of what he used to say was that there was a hierarchy
What?
Who's Tyler?
He was a guy in the Space Force.
of beings. And he placed God at the top. He was Christian. And then he placed angels below God. And then he placed beings, like off-planet beings. He called them off-planet beings. And then he placed, and this is where it gets really weird to me, factions in the intelligence community. And then
That's where I'm going to get deep into. I think we're going to get deep into that later.
normal humans. That was the
Okay.
hierarchy.
Okay.
So imagine factions. Some factions within the intelligence community are on the hierarchy.
Of aliens?
What?
On the hierarchy of aliens?
The hierarchy of beings.
Beings. Which
So
aliens are?
sentience, like sentient beings almost,
So
right?
does humans go up though? So it goes humans,
God,
aliens.
no. God,
I was
angel.
going from the bottom up.
Okay, humans, some factions within the intelligence community, aliens, angels, and God. That's from a Space Force scientist.
Okay. Continue.
So this is America. Get ready. Tell me when you want. This is gonna be a trailer, but it's pretty. It's got enough clips in here to be worth it.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a...
Is that enough propaganda for you? ETI propaganda?
Why did they change it to UAP, I wonder?
Well, so that because UFO had too much of a negative or a different connotation, right? They wanted it to be phenomena, not a craft. Like UFO is an object. They want it to be about phenomena.
Okay.
Senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomenon.
For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
So look at that thing. It's rotating. There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
This is so secret. Very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people.
Again, regardless of the truth, you and I talk about this all the time on the other show too, right? How far have we come since we started the show in 2014, 2013, when, you know, this all the UFOs. So we were talking about UFOs, and now, like, look at this. Even if it's a psyop, look at how much is being disclosed from the government.
Because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
What else you want to know?
So
Who's this guy?
That's
Is that Elizondo?
yeah, that's Elizondo. Yeah, yeah. Which people don't try. Nobody in the I shouldn't say nobody. I don't want to be dogmatic about it, but not a lot of people trust him in the UFO community. So
even some people in the chats.
Nothing in this film. This is Ryan Sprague. I think we were friends with him way back. Nothing in this film is relevant anymore. It's not disclosure in any way, shape, or form. It's pretty interesting because everybody's like, "Oh, didn't Von Braun say something about this years ago? Like that this was going to be the next thing, right? World War III, nuclear weapons, ETs." So people are almost like so tired of this, or not tired, that they don't even really care. Like it's, but the thing is, the reality isn't just that ETs and there's.
Well, when do you think peak UFO was then? I agree with you. It seems like there was a time when it would have been fanfare right now or something, you know? Maybe even as early as like 2010.
No, peak UFO still hasn't happened.
No, we haven't hit peak UFO.
No, it's gonna get way crazier, dude. Wait till you see. Wait till they start showing up.
The higher it gets, just the more like the more jaded that the old UFOers are gonna get. Probably, do you think?
Yeah, probably.
We'll just get more and more cynical.
Yeah,
believe it less and less.
Yeah,
ironic.
But this gets me to talking about my theories, kind of. Well, so I don't know what I should do first, Jason, or lead into my main theory, because they kind of both. Okay, let me start with Jason. So Jason is talking about this this tech. Titanic Astoria is his Substack. He says, here it is. I've never been more hesitant to publish something. So I'm going to switch things here to talk a little bit about, because he's kind of teasing it, but it's a paid for Substack. So I would just suggest people go there and pay for the Substack or something. Jason Reza Georgiani, he was on Outlawed a few years ago talking about his book, Closer Encounters, which is super fascinating. I love his work. So here it is. The Astoria Group, the New York investors in the mystery airships. Remember the late 1800s, those airships? Yes. The founders of America's first foreign intelligence. So this is where the intelligence people get into. This is where it kind of ties in the intelligence people. And then I'll get into the occult and stuff after. Prior to the OSS, right? And the predecessors of the Bilderberg Group. So now we're getting into like the global control, the MJ-12 type stuff. And they also orchestrated a human sacrifice on the Titanic.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm going to just shift over to this. Well, they wanted to create the Federal Reserve at that time, right?
So just like sinking the Titanic was.
And Astor was on there, right? There was a bunch of high profile rich people that didn't agree with the Jekyll Island Federal Reserve. And the Sonera Airship Club is nothing as it seems is talking about that. This goes back to the Sonera airships as well, which were before, I believe that was all before the late 1800s. But what we call UFOs were invented by so this is also part of his premise here. It was invented by Nikola Tesla in the 1890s and was suppressed by the Astoria Group. I'm not going to get into all the comments and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm going to talk to you about is how I think this is all connected. So I'm going to just change it to, this is Camus again. You just shared him the other day, but this is that Diary of the CEO with Weinstein, Eric Weinstein, that we've heard about this, right? But I'm just going to quickly read some of the summary because he talks about Epstein, right, was a construct. So basically, and the construct is an interesting term for me because it goes back to like ancient magic and like a simulacrum or a construct or there's another word that I'm thinking of where you can basically like imbue life or sentience into a inanimate object.
Like a tulpa?
Like a tulpa, kind of, but a tulpa is more like created, not you're not ingested, you're kind of creating it out of nothing. So So here's interesting. Somebody constructed this human being to be something they're not. That's what Weinstein says, right? Because he talks about the gravity conference. So Epstein's involved in like this weird stuff that Eric was involved in back in the 2000s in the knots, right? That would be the knots. He suggests Epstein ties to Harvard's math department, inexplicable knowledge of Weinstein's work, the connection and control of science, the maximum connection. What?
Weinstein or Weinstein.
Pergamon and the big picture. Weinstein stops short of full conspiracy, but leaves a haunting question: who built Epstein? So that's
Damage
what.
control.
What?
Damage control.
You think? Okay, let's listen to 2 minutes of him, and then you think it's damage control from Eric?
Man, the timeline of his ascension with the Epstein timeline, it just, there seems to be. We gotta go make this guy famous.
Okay, here we go.
Jeffrey Epstein conducted a conference called
I don't know. Yeah.
Confronting Gravity. I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, but I would certainly bet money that he was a product of at least one or more elements of the intelligence community.
The CIA, the FBI.
Those are ours, right? Department of Homeland Security has some of this stuff. Geospatial intelligence has some of this. It's a large network. I'm talking about people like David Grush. I'm talking about people potentially like David Fravor. I'm talking about people like Jake Barber. I'm talking about scientists like Leo Szilard. Imagine if Leo Szilard didn't know that the Manhattan Project was going on, or Jack Raper, a journalist who broke a story. These people all think that they're doing their jobs. I desperately want to know why Jeffrey Epstein knew so much about my work. And I want to know why he was connected to my graduate program. I was in the Harvard mathematics department. Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely connected to the Harvard math department. I want to know why.
How was he connected to the math department?
You're pushing me to say things I'm not going to say. But I don't mind.
I'm curious. I'm not trying to push you out.
I understand, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm saying that anybody who wants to.
You said he was connected to the math department.
To the Harvard mathematics department.
How did you know he was connected?
You can Google it. You could Google it right now. This is not. I can point at all sorts of stuff that's hidden in plain sight.
So I'll take your word for it. And the assertion that I'm picking up on is that Jeffrey Epstein was planted in your world to keep.
I'm not saying he's planted. I don't know who he was. I don't know who ran him. He certainly was not a financier in any standard sense.
Really?
That was a cover story. Yes.
The way that we know Jeffrey Epstein.
All right. So I didn't want to play the whole 7 minutes and stuff, right? Because, I don't want to go too much into the comments and all that, just in case. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read through some of my research on it. So he was tied to everything. This is one comment here. I honestly think the reason why the Epstein stuff is not coming out at any time soon is because he was tied to everything. He is probably also tied to stuff that has not happened yet, like WW3, nuclear exchange, catastrophic disclosure, etc. That's a good point. Have you ever thought about maybe like the sex stuff is a bit of a distraction? Like it's there, but it's there on purpose, maybe. Or maybe it's there because he was breeding, get this, scientists. I shouldn't have even gone there yet. Because I should have saved that for the end. But you know how he had at that Zorro Ranch, he was talking about impregnating 20 women himself to spread his genes and all. What if that was just a cover? And what if he was breeding scientists? Because he met all these, he was like searching for all these super smart scientists.
Wouldn't he want super smart chicks instead of just like underage bitches?
Maybe they were. I mean, maybe he had so many to choose from. Maybe they were picking the smart ones. I don't know.
Have to be young so that they give. I don't know. Okay.
Forget that for now. Let's put that in in the
Put that
what do
back in
they
the
call
drawer for a minute.
So where do you think, like in general, where do you think my mind goes? Well, it's because you've probably heard me say like half of this stuff already.
UFOs.
Okay, yeah, and yeah,
UFOs and
okay. Let me
and
okay. I'm gonna put together like from the top of my head just the connections that I asked Grok, kind of right. Like I'm like, so keeping this in mind, because Epstein and Ghislaine, they're running this whole operation, right? But Ghislaine's dad is also Maxwell, who got suicided in 91, right? Robert Maxwell. And he was in control of a whole bunch of scientific papers and stuff, this whole process, right? Eric kind of talked about that. But his daughter was married to a guy whose dad was hanging out with L. Ron Hubbard and his name is Frank Molina, hanging around with them and Jack Parsons doing those Crowley rituals in the desert, right? Doing the Whore of Babylon, the Babylon working, right? Trying to summon the Whore of Babylon, which has to do with UFOs because they said they were having all these sightings. They thought the Whore had arrived. It was orbs. Like people like Kenneth Grant says that they opened up a portal, and that's part of the reason why the modern UFO phenomena is here because of that Babylon working, which was 46, right? Remember, Trump was born the next blood moon after the Babylon working on the blood moon. And then 47 happened. That's like the kickoff of the CIA. That's the kickoff of the modern UFO phenomena with Roswell. But before that, it was that other dude with the I can't think of it right now, with the flying, skipping saucers and stuff. So, and also sci-fi writers, like super popular dystopian sci-fi writers, like Bradbury, Fahrenheit 451, and Heinlein, A Stranger in a Strange Land. Like these are household names. They were hanging around with them. So how is it that a cult group, the Suicide Squad, which was really a suicide, it was a rocket club from Caltech, right? The Suicide, I'm pretty sure I have all this, but anybody's fact check me or whatever, but I'm just trying off the top of my head here before I get into the details. But so this whole occult thing and the modern UFO thing, and then it ties indirectly, but it ties familiarly, like family wise, to Jeffrey and Ghislaine. And Robert, so I asked, that's kind of what I asked Grok. I'm like, help me make some connections here between all this stuff, right? So he says, Robert Maxwell, British, a Czech-born British media mogul, right? Widely credited with revolutionizing, okay, and arguably exploiting scientific publishing. Revolutionizing scientific publishing in the post-World War II era. Like, that's not... And that's I've heard that from other people as well, probably Weinstein, but that's not a
might as well be writing Bibles,
right? So what one of my questions was like, were they responsible for demonizing or canceling cold fusion, for example, or other propulsion systems or other black technology? Like,
so maybe it was more about getting the scientists to bang young bitches so that they could blackmail the scientists, and the celebrities were just along for the ride so that they could entice the scientists further.
Yep.
So you're trying to give a pass to celebrities?
No, not at all. No, but I mean, I'm just getting the shivers. And what?
Wouldn't one of them have said something by now if the celebrity's been like, "Hey, man, yeah, I was on the plane, but."
I mean, Hawking was there, right? I mean, there's memes about Hawking in the wheelchair there, right? I mean, he had scientific conferences on the island,
and the midgets.
So this is well known. So he served in the British Army during the war, right? Whereas intelligence work in Berlin, handling press operations and smuggling scientific materials out of Nazi Germany. Are you fucking kidding me? Gave him early access to academic works. In 48, he founded, so this is the year after all that stuff I'm talking about, he founded Pergamon Press, which grew explosively by capitalizing on the free labor of scientists. Authors and reviewers contributed without pay while libraries were locked into subscriptions to must-have journals. By 65, it had ballooned from 40 to 150 titles focusing on physics, nuclear energy, and emerging fields like aeronautics and telecommunications. I mean, how do I show, I think I'm missing,
Bro.
Yeah, Okay, let me see here. Okay, so there's a multi-generational web of influence where control over scientific narratives via publishing gatekeeping. I mean, what better way to do it, right? Intersects with intelligence operations, suppressed technologies, and even ritualistic occult undercurrents, and rocketry and transhumanism. It's a rabbit hole blending Cold War. This is the blurb that he's telling me here. Cold War spycraft, black budget tech suppression, and the Epstein-Maxwell lineage as a construct for elite manipulation. Let's see here. The circumstantial architecture is compelling. So Maxwell's publishing empire, right? The gatekeeper of legitimate science. Should I share some of this while I'm reading it, or?
Yeah. Might as well for the people watching along at home.
Yeah. Let me just zoom. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit here, just a little bit more. So let's see here. Where was I? Maxwell's publishing empire. So he industrialized publishing science, turning free academic labor into 40% profit machine that locked libraries into these subscriptions, right? Founded in 51. It exploded. Okay, hang on a sec. Linked to demonizing. No, there's no evidence explicitly about cold fusion, but it does get interesting when we got down to that later. But post-war journals, post-World War II journals like Pergamon favored DoD-aligned research, of course, nuclear fusion and palladium, but only safe variants. Fringe topics got sidelined as pathological science, echoing claims of institutional suppression. Skeptics like Fleischmann, like their critics, right? Critics argue the system gave science's soul to publishers, undermining anomalies that threatened energy cartels or black budgets. So he sold that in 91 for $440 million to cover debt costs, right? Cementing the oligopoly. And that's when he got killed after that. Or I don't know if it was after or before. I'm assuming it was after, since he sold it in the same year that he died by suicide in a lake on a boat or whatever. So Maxwell, where's the other stuff about him here? So okay, let me go back here. I'm getting too excited here. So 7,000 monographs, journals in physics, nuclear tech. They cornered the Cold War markets, free labor, prioritized prestige, etc. Aligned with black projects, anomalies like cold fusion, faced debunking in similar outlets, sold that to the margins. Okay, let me move forward here. So his intel work, smuggling Nazi docs, evolved into alleged triple agency ops, MI6, KGB, and Mossad. The UK Foreign Office calls him a thoroughly bad character financed by Russia. He brokered the Promise software. Do you remember that, with his daughter working on it? That's like the original, what's that word I'm looking for? The word for that software that grabs everything.
Catch-all?
Yeah, the catch-all one. What's the word? It starts with O. I can't think of it right now. I'll come back to that. Spyware with Mossad backdoors, 20 plus countries using it, publishing as a cover for academic diplomacy, right? He tipped Mossad to kidnap this whistleblower, this nuclear whistleblower, the tech suppression angle. If Maxwell was Mossad's super spy, his journals could filter out leaks on black tech, anti-gravity, Nazi-derived programs like Die Glock or cold fusion as a disruptor. His titles praised support for specialist areas, but insiders note aggressive tactics to monopolize narratives. They've got links along here too. Epstein's missing fortune.
Know who to go kill.
Yeah. Erica, so his missing fortune. Weinstein speculates it's Maxwell's laundered funds tied to the same intel web. So here's the construct part of it. He says likely built to honey trap elites and scientists. So that's what That's what Epstein and Weinstein is talking about, right? After meeting him, Weinstein flagged him as a fake, no real hedge funds, but interested in physics, gravity, edge science. Epstein funded transhumanists, edge.org, right? And hosted gravity talks, echoing Black Project lures. Ghislaine as pimp, ? Fits the sapiosexual Hugh Hefner cover for Intel Ops, per Weinstein. Maxwell's 91 suicide, yacht fall, Israel state funeral screams cover up. Ghislaine allegedly told victims Mossad killed him. So let's see here. The son of, so that this is getting into the rocket squad, right? The occult rocketry link. So Ghislaine's sister and all that. Jack Parsons' best friend and Caltech Suicide Squad. The squad pioneered rockets amid explosions, hence the name, but JPL moonlighted as a Crowley acolyte running the Agape Lodge, the OTO sex magic. In 46, so that's the interesting part too, right? There's a sex magic sort of part that might fit into the whole sapiosexual part of Ghislaine and Epstein too. So in 46, they performed that Babylon working. So I'm trying to skip through the stuff that I already told you about. And then Parson, and you know that Hubbard ran away with Parsons' wife, right? And Cash, and Parsons died in a lab blast, which apparently I just heard something about it that wasn't the accident they said it was. So tied to Maxwell and Epstein, here we go. Frank Molina, the guy that was in the club, this is the guy that's related to Maxwell's daughter, fled to France in the 50s amid FBI probes, communist ties like Parsons. Roger, Christine's husband, edits Leonardo Journal, Kinetic Art and Tech. Their son, Ghislaine's nephew, advised Obama and Biden on data AI. So there's a connection here to like our contemporary politics through Ghislaine's nephew. Discussions like this about Terrasem, transhumanist immortality cult, via Parsons' Agape Lodge roots, blending occult moonchild. That's Crowley's book with about trying to conceive a kid, a human during the full moon, with anti-gravity dreams. Epstein's gravity fixation, perhaps hoarding Babylon era tech, Nazi occult propulsion myths. So it's getting pretty complicated, but the synthesis here, you're sketching a family firm in elite control. Robert Maxwell gatekept science via Pergamon/Mossad, suppressing fringe to protect black tech pipelines. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Epstein, his heir, lured physicists into honey traps, echoing Parsons' ritualistic rocketry. Weinstein's construct thesis fits. Epstein as post-Maxwell op, blending sapiosexuality with gravity, Intel labs, or grabs. No hard proof of deliberate debunking, but the system's biases, profit and Intel, naturally demonize outliers like cold fusion. Recent X chatter amplifies this, satanic transhuman vectors. So, and I got into, what did I ask him about Babylon working? Oh, this is about like echoes from the veil. So occult, this is getting more into the spiritual occult further back than 46. So they talk about like some of the spiritualism and all that kind of stuff, the key milestones. This is the one that our buddy Marty always talks about. Who's the guy there that Puharik. So they talk about the ectoplasm, telepathy, Rhines, Duke Lab, and all that stuff. But I'm just skipping through a lot of this stuff. So they talk about OSS and wartime weirdness, weaponizing the unseen. So this is pre-CIA. Do you remember hearing about Project Chatter? The precursor to mescaline LSD on sailors. So that was happening prior to, I thought it was prior to 47, but it says 47 here.
When was MK Ultra?
Well, that's afterwards. I think the 60s or the 50s.
Oh, it says 50s there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really want to get into all this mind control MK Ultra stuff, even though it might be connected. But so by 1945, so this is pre-CIA, the OSS realized spiritual reality isn't woo, it's exploitable chaos. Entity contacts, potential assets or threats, UFO-like visions, Psywar vectors. This primed the CIA's 47 birth via the National Security Act as Cold War paranoia demanded hiding such complex truths from a public still reeling from atomic horror. So that's kind of one of my theses, is that this occult research that they did was like, we can't let the public know about this. Like the Cold War against the US, because the USSR was doing their own psychotronic research. So they're like, and maybe this is even like to be commended in some ways. Like, we cannot let the public know about this occult spiritual reality, that you can summon entities, that maybe we are owned by somebody else. You know, maybe they figured out that we're not just free humans, you know, that we live, like Charles Fort says, that we are basically property of somebody's. So the 1946 pivot is interesting here. That's the Mojave rituals, right? The Babylon working. They synced with the ghost rocket flaps over Scandinavia, 1946 ghost rockets. Roswell 46. Kenneth Grant claimed the working opened a door and something flew in, birthing the saucer wave as demonic UFO bleed through. So Parsons, JPL's Thelemic rocket wizard invoked Babylon, Crowley's Scarlet Woman via Enochian sex magic, aiming for a moonchild messiah. Hubbard scribed the astral results, apocalyptic visions, then silence.
That's the one that might be Trump, right?
Yeah, Trump. Well, aiming for the moonchild messiah. Well, Trump was born on the next blood moon after that ritual.
Interesting.
Oh, it's insane. So then that's what Kenneth Grant was saying about it. So then they talk about like Valley and the modern UFO folklore, ancient entities, fairies, demons, ETs, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm trying to skip through some of this because I don't want it to seem like a big AI analysis. So this is just a timeline thing, mushrooms and hide from Soviets, Parsons Hubbard, saucer flap, all that kind of stuff. So let's see here. OSS, Stargate, 78 to 95, formalizes remote viewing. I mean, then we get into the remote viewing. That's where Ingo and all them come in, right? Ingo Swann, Babylon era psychics, saw Mars ruins, Soviet subs. So they peeked behind the veil, found a hydra of dimensions, demons, tech, and locked it down. Public gets debunked saucers. Elites get black budget Babylon drives. Ties back to Maxwell's gatekeeping. Pergamon journals marginalize this as occult pseudoscience, protecting the construct. I mean, like Grok kind of summarized what I've been trying to say right there in that last final sentence. What do you think?
Not bad so far. I mean, it's kind of a build on some of the stuff you've been getting into for a while.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff here talking about cold fusion suppression and other, technologies in the process where they do that, but I don't want to get into all that stuff too. And then this is where it gets into like seeding Epstein's obsession, seeding humanity with his DNA via 20 women inseminations at Zorro Ranch, inspired by the repository for germinal choice, the Nobel Sperm Bank. He framed it as transhumanism, tech to transcend biology, genetic engineering, AI symbiosis, cryonics for resurrection. Donated 20,000, that's not too much, I don't know why they put that in there, to Transhumanist Association, and mused on freezing his head penis for revival. Critics call it eugenics redux, selective breeding for superior traits, laundered as progress. But this is where it kind of gets to like I love their things. Transhumanism, gravity, and the shadow of eugenics. So Epstein's science philanthropy wasn't mere vanity. It was a calculated bid to embed himself in the vanguard of human upgrade tech, blending theoretical physics with biotech frontiers that could rewrite evolution. So through the Epstein 6 Foundation and proxies like Gratitude America, don't you love the way they name these things? He funneled $30 million into cutting edge pursuits from the 90s to 2017. The Edge Foundation, John Brockman's world's smartest website, salon for third culture intellectuals. So this is where like Thiel and Musk were involved on some of these dinners. Funding everything from billionaires' dinners to speculative seminars. This gave him access to Nobelists and AI pioneers, often at his Zorro Ranch. New Mexico Eugenics Nursery, or Little St. James Conferences. Tying to our construct thesis, Epstein, per Weinstein, as Mossad CIA proxy, hoarded these edges. Gravity unification for propulsion, gene hacks for elite immortality, to gatekeep breakthroughs, echoing Maxwell's publishing chokehold or Parsons' occult rocketry. No public leaks on Black Project handoffs, but the pattern screams suppression. Fund the anomalous, honey trap the funders, classify the yields. Below the tech sciences, he bankrolled with specifics. So then they get into like, this is all the sciencey stuff that he funded. I mean, so I want to just see where they say that, because I was kind of thinking the same thing, and then they came to the same thing that that he was basically like breeding scientists. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
I wonder which babies are scientists.
I know. Wonder where these superior babies are right now. And then the suicide writers. I mean, the scientific writers, sci-fi writers, like dude, Heinlein and Bradbury hanging around all these guys. Lesprog de Camp. Like these are some of the more popular sci-fi books that have a dystopian, and they were hanging around these guys too. Like, that all seems just, doesn't it seem too crazy? Or is it just that they were that famous back then? They were that all good hanging around in a group that they're all household names in 2025?
Seems weird. I wonder if they all still agreed at the end, or if the dystopian writers went in the other direction. These guys are fucking nuts.
This is what's happening. No, but I mean, I think it's more of like a what's that term that we use in the conspiracy world for, like, it's they're putting it out there. They're you know what
preparing
I mean?
us.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of the word, but it's almost like they're revealing. It's the method of the reveal. Like they're like, okay, this is where we're going with it. I mean, or maybe they're just saying, hey, this is where it could go, but it's hard not to think on a conspiratorial level after reading all this.
Do you think they're just priming us up?
So here it is. No leaks prove that siphon tech to Mossad Black projects, but the setup fits. Lure edge thinkers, gravity for warp drives, AI for surveillance, compromise via parties. Example, Hawking's 2006 island tripamid orgy rumors, debunked but sticky. Then classify yields.
What's debunked but sticky mean?
Well, it means that officially it's
Not
been
true, but it's not
debunked.
going away.
Yeah, stick. I like that. Sticky. Post 2008 conviction, he pivoted to remorseful philanthropist, PR per Forbes plants. Recent X chatter, polymarket bets on Hawking, Epstein files, revives gravity as a code for suppressed propulsion. Ties to our arc, Maxwell's Pergamon echoed this. Gatekeep anomalies, Epstein operationalized it for biotech physics. Yeah. Pergamon echoed this, gatekeep anomalies, and Epstein operationalized it. I thought there was something in there about breeding scientists.
Yeah, it was higher.
Or maybe that's just me.
I thought it said somewhere around there.
Oh, here, maybe it's in here. Yeah, freeze and revive for transhumanism elites. Epstein hosted genetic. Here it would be here. Horde Moonchild Tech, church's work on de-extinction immortality lines with Epstein's cryonic fetish, black budget longevity for elites. Neuralink. So there's some Neuralink precursors here too, like Marvin Minsky from MIT. It looks like he was in there named in the Epstein docs.
Not Elon though, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Elon was at some of those dinners, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Transhumanism leads to his OSS psych moves. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. I thought they had somewhere where it seemed like they were breeding scientists because but I read it after I thought it, but maybe I was seeding humanity. That's not it there, I don't think. Selective breed. Well, maybe it's this, I guess. Selective breeding for superior traits laundered as progress. So there you go. That's it.
That's it in a nutshell. There does seem to be some evidence of them trying to control a scientific narrative pretty hard. I wonder if the like rise of the American journals made that harder, so they just started exploiting them sexually because they couldn't gatekeep just via the journals anymore. I guess who bought it? Who bought it?
Who bought what?
Who bought the scientific publishing thing for 440 million?
I can't remember that. It's a weird name. Let me find it quickly here.
It'd be interesting to know who owns that.
Yeah, and also what that journal is like that somebody right now owns today still that we could look at. I probably should have pulled all that stuff up.
I think so be it. So it says is trying to is trying to send links. I don't think YouTube will let you send links. It might not. You might have to email those. Graham at Grimerica.com.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it now.
Something press, right?
Yeah, well, Pergamon Press was what started, and then the Journal of Nuclear, Elsevier, ELSEVIER. ELSEVIER.
ELSEVIER.
ELSEVIER, yeah.
Who owns? Give it to me again. ELS.
EV.
EVIER. Let's see who owns it. Relics PLC. Relks. Top shareholders. See the top shareholders of Relks. BlackRock, 8.3%. Vanguard, 5.2%.
You can't be. I mean, it's like a meme by now.
Then Capital Research and Management, FMR, LLC, HSBC, Artisan Partners, Straight Global, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Vanguard and BlackRock are the top two shareholders. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's very weird. Yeah. I mean, it's not weird. It's just, it's too crazy that's too obvious.
You expect nothing less at this point?
Yeah.
That's good. So you're all wrapped up then?
Yeah, I mean, I've got something else here from somebody else about the Atlas. If you want me to read it,
sure.
Sort of finish with the Atlas thing. But the other one I just wanted to talk to you about quickly is maybe what we should look at is that journal that was in here from. No, I can't find it.
You lost it?
Yeah, it was Ghislaine's sort of the journal that was happening now about art and tech. Just to see what they're Leonardo journal. So Roger Christine's husband edits Leonardo journal. So if you could look up Leonardo journal, Leonardo.
Who owns Leonardo? How do you finish the Leonardo? AL?
Nardo, like Leonardo.
Journal.
Yeah, I don't know about Seven Seas. So be it. So I saw a couple of his posts, and it was making like similar, I guess, to what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not claiming there's connections. I'm just speculating. There seems to be a lot of like hardcore claims that all these weird, disparate relationships and stuff are connections. So maybe I'm doing the same thing. I don't know, but
So it's MIT Press. MIT Press owns it.
Interesting.
All right. Well, give me the Atlas stuff, and then
This
we.
is- yeah, this
I
is-
had a feeling you'd go pretty long, so I got pretty short stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I got Bruce Fenton here. He's one of our past guests too, because we've been talking about this Atlas thing, and he's like, here it is. So here, this is my opinion on the 3 interstellar objects, speaking as the research director for the Alien Techno Signatures Research Group. 2 of the first 3 ISOs have been exhibited extreme anomalies. That is a 66% ratio of highly problematic cosmic bodies to more typical types. So that's kind of a weird analysis. The 2 anomalous objects, 1 Oumuamua and 3, also 1I or 3I Atlas, passed through the solar system close to the ecliptic plane. They also passed relatively near the inner solar system planets. This is exponentially statistically unlikely. 1I was more or less a pancake-like reddish object with characteristics including unexpected acceleration that lent themselves to an artificial interpretation. 3I has a peculiar composition as well as statistically unlikely size, especially considering it is only the 3rd object of the category. My tentative conclusion is that these objects are not alien technology, but that they are being artificially directed here by a non-human intelligence that is assisting us in expanding our cosmological understanding. Oh, I like that theory. Our team has already identified cosmic interlopers in the prehistoric record that were statistically unlikely and had characteristics that favor a directed journey to Earth. Any NIH civilization that has mastered anti-gravity or warping the fabric of the cosmos could easily propel objects in our direction. I favor the view that this has happened before and is happening again now. And that's probably an AI sketch of the Atlas there. 33 billion tons of 30. Come on. It's 33 billion. You got to be kidding me.
How do they know that? There's no fucking possible.
Well, they know that, they know the moon of Jupiter has water now, enough water to fit on North America. And they know that Mars has microbial life. So
yeah, it took a long time, though. It took a long time to figure that out. It didn't. It's like, hey, there's a new rock, man. This is how heavy it is. It's full of nickel.
33 billion tons of nearly pure nickel, unlike any known comet or asteroid. Spectroscopic data show no iron, unusual, as nickel and iron typically co-occur in alloys. Its surface is highly reflective and uniform, implying a smoother metallic plane than any natural body observed. The faint glow exceeds reflected sunlight, with nickel plasma lines indicating active ablation and charged particle shedding. This creates a backward ion tail, but the leading hemisphere is oddly illuminated, suggesting unexplained self-emission. Magnetic fields exhibit regular variations, pointing to complex electromagnetic processes. Due to its iron absence, smooth surface, and anomalous luminosity, 3I Atlas is exceptionally unusual. Urgent further observation are recommended to assess exotic composition, novel physics, or artifacts. Pure bullshit. Logic is dead. Pure bullshit. Nickelback comment. That's a good one. Nickelback. Should be calling it Nickelback.
Nickelback, baby. Yeah, I was just seeing if there's anything important about it being nickel, but it doesn't seem like it. Some researchers propose that the presence of nickel without iron could point to exotic chemical pathways, nickel carbonyl compounds. The anomalous nickel emission is being flagged by some as a possible technological/artificial signature. Nickel is said to have a stabilizing, purifying, or grounding qualities in esoteric and crystal metal lore. So what do you think about that?
Say that again?
I deleted it. Nickel is said to have grounding qualities
Yeah, this guy talks about it too. He says, when a body reflects light before it receives it, we're no longer looking at mere physics. We're looking at a signal. What if 3i Atlas isn't just passing through space, but communicating with it? Nickel, the conductor of memory, frequency, and coded transmission, may not be around. Perhaps it's not a rock. Perhaps it's a record. Observe the resonance. Track the reflection. The message is in the light. That's interesting, eh?
It's just God winking.
Mm-hmm.
Hey boys, how's it going?
Oh, I'm tired of correcting these pseudoscientific accounts.
You are?
No, this guy here is he's like, it's comet contains iron pentacarbonyl. So they're even arguing. So I guess I shouldn't have read that as if it was fact. I mean, this is only from Black Hole, who has 767,000 followers on X. But I mean, like I said the other day, that other account that was showing the Mars pictures with those obelisks was showing fake pictures. So I mean, you almost can't believe anything until it shows up in our atmosphere and you can see it with the naked eye. Even then, maybe it's just
Even then, we won't believe it. It's bullshit government.
Yeah,
they're bullshit.
We're at
aliens.
that point.
Just
All right, do you have stuff to share then, or?
Yeah, I got a few things that we could jump into that I thought might be kind of fun, especially since I've been immersed in ducks lately. So it's been a bunch of duck hunting and stuff like that. So I had some I found some interesting correlations I could get into, I don't know. I think it definitely points to one world lore or prehistory, where one civilization had the same myths or something like that. Or maybe there's more to it. I think ducks are one of the only birds that are on every continent.
Wow.
Which is kind of interesting because when you look at hunting, you hunt elk, and a lot of Indians were hunting elk, and there's all this sort of different cultural things, but ducks seem to be across culture. That all these cultures throughout prehistory were all hunting ducks at some point or another. And I actually found this little picture here. If it's going to load up, that I could show you. This is from the tomb of Kumatep. You know how to say that shit?
Well,
Kumatep?
if you show me the spelling,
You should know how to do it by now. This one here, see?
Nimhotep, maybe?
Kumotep. So this is a thing from his tomb. It had mummified ducks in it. This is from, they say, 2000 BC or something like that. But, the Egyptian stuff, it could be older. But this is a dude in a duck blind netting ducks.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Whoa, dude. Can you click on that image?
Oh boy. Now I got to navigate around a little bit, but here's dude in his blind sitting on his chair, just like we were. It's good now because you've been duck hunting, so it'll come across a little more, but this is very clearly a dude hiding behind some reeds, right?
Yeah.
Or something with his rope going out, and he's netting all these ducks.
Oh my God, dude. So he has a rope in the water.
There's a rope in the water going out.
A rope net in the water, and there's the ducks flying out, and those are the ones trapped. Oh, look what he got in there. You could almost
he's got the net tied to a pole, and when he pulls it tight, it all comes out of the water or does something.
Oh my God, right? That's how they wait there for the thing, and then they pull it. Look at there's some mallards in there and some other ones that you've
There's some fucking mallards in there. So I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that these Egyptians were hunting mallards back in the day, hiding in a blind the same way that we're doing it. I mean, we got guns and stuff, obviously.
Yeah, but they're probably getting way more than you guys. You guys are popping them one at a time. And
well, it's hard to know because it's like that. Like I was saying before, there's the ducks and the geese. There seems to be more of them than there ever was. They were down to dwindling numbers at the mid-century, but now since 1970, they just sort of skyrocketed because they're just eating grain. I mean, every duck I've shot in the last two or 3 weeks has had a gullet full of corn. They're just pounding down the corn that gets left in the field after they do their sort of thingamajig, So I thought that was pretty cool. The Egyptians hunting ducks, pretty neat. Because other than that, it's like there's a lot of other stuff that doesn't cross culture, but this is sort of this thing where people all over the world have all been hunting ducks for maybe since the pre-cataclysm. This is another one here. This is from the Lovelock Cave. That's in Nevada, I think, right?
No, that's the one that Randall wants to go to.
So this is a Lovelock Cave. I knew it was like stuck out for some reason. Yeah, so this is a little right up. It was his last hunt of the fall, I'd guess. He'd hunted the cold front in the morning with the faith all waterfowlers having such things. Then as the temperature fell, he gathered his spread and stored it for winter, figuring on coming back when the birds returned. The flocks returned the following spring, as they always have, and God willing, always will. The hunter never did. So this is just about in the Lovelock Cave. They found all these duck decoys made out of wood. They figured at least 2,000 years old.
Wow, what? Polymathing is saying the ancient duck decoys is a fun rabbit hole. Holy.
Yeah, where researchers discovered more than 10,000 native artifacts, including 11 remarkably well-preserved duck decoys that were later estimated to be more than 2,000 years old.
So that's where the giants were found too, in those caves there.
Yeah, so maybe their giants were hunting ducks, right?
Yeah.
Duck hunters. So they came upon woven baskets, blah blah blah. There's the thing of the decoys, canvasback. So they just made them out of these reeds. Some carved out of wood, some made out of reeds, and then they added actual duck feathers to them.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm surprised they didn't keep once you kind of take it apart, then make a decoy out of the body you just killed,
Yeah, it looks like they did. They got it all crammed full of some feathers there. Analysis of material from 2 of the decoys yielded dates of 2080 and 2250 years before present, making them the world's oldest known waterfowl decoys. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And then, so let's go from that. There's the net and birds picture. We don't need that. I did go down the thing, whether the duck quacks echo. It turns out that they do echo, but it's just that their quack goes through so many different frequencies that the only way they figured it out was with a science experiment. So you're doing a good duck call if it doesn't echo, I guess. Now,
whoa, wait a second. You just said the duck calls do echo, the quacks echo?
Well, it's been an urban legend forever that duck calls and goose calls, especially duck calls, don't echo. But some university did a thing where they stuck them in a room and there is a perceivable echo. It's just super, super light. Anyway, let's jump over to this. Keep on the duck with Chasing Green's about mallard ducks. Maybe some people would figure that out. This is a Cree legend. Coyote creates the earth. Long ago, there was no earth, only water. Coyote was floating on a small raft when he met the ducks. They were the only other creatures. My brother, he said, there's no one else around. It is no good to be alone like this. You must get some earth so I can make things right. He turned to the red-headed mallard. Dive beneath this water and bring up some earth. We'll use it as a means of living. The red-headed mallard dived. He remained down for a long time, but came up without bringing any earth. Coyote turned to the pinto duck. I sent the older one, but he was not able to get any earth. Now I will let you try. The pinto duck came up after a long time and said, my brother, I was not able to get any. Then Coyote asked the smaller blue-feathered duck to dive. If you do not bring up any, we will have no land to live on. He dived down, but he came up with no earth. Coyote did not know what to do. Then the Grebe spoke up. My older brother, you should have asked me to go before you asked these others. They are my superiors, but they are helpless. He took his turn diving and stayed down a long time. When he came up, Coyote said, what sort of luck did you have? I have brought some. He had a little dirt between his webbed feet. Coyote took the mud in his hand and he started in the east. I will make it large so we have plenty of room. So anyway, just Coyote goes on from there with the creation myth of creating the earth out of the thing that the duck got, which, nothing too crazy about that. The Cree are here in duck country. But then you can jump over to this one,
And
which
the
is
coyotes are here too.
yeah.
See coyotes all over. We saw lots. We saw coyotes. Man, when Miles shot that thing, he was chasing that big coyote. Was that a wolf or a coyote? What did we decide?
It was a coyote.
It was a coyote, but it was big coyote with red.
It was a big coyote. So now this goes to Amala. Amala is a mythological giant who supports the world in the mythology of the Shmiyan, Nas, Skygate, Masset, and Tinga, so more Native Americans. Let's jump over to this one, actually.
Smoky hole.
This is the lure, Turkish and Hungarian, is a legendary female animal in Turkic mythologies. In the beginning, the earth emanated from water. In ancient Turkish beliefs, Karakan is a pure white goose that flies constantly over an endless expanse of water. But before Ak-Ana appears to urge Karakan to create, he experiences a disturbance in his calm. From the bottom of the water was sacred duck. Lure lifted up the sand, clay, and silt from which the earth was created. So that's in ancient Turkish and Hungarian beliefs. In Hungarian mythology, the sea duck is a spirit animal because ducks fly in the air and dive in the water. Thus, ducks belong to the both upper world and the world below.
Wow, that is interesting. That is very interesting. And another one, like, what are the chances of two creation myths being with ducks?
On the other side of the world. And then if we go over to, let's jump again over to this one. This is the Ugric creation myth. The Ugric creation myth is a genesis story of the world and mythology of the Khanty and Mansi people in western Siberia. Their creation myth is very similar to the creation myths of other people of the Urals, sharing a lot of the common elements such as sky god, the primordial waterfowl, and the primordial waters. And also similar to creation myths of many other peoples in the northern hemisphere, such as the Cherokees, Yugachurs, Chuktis, and Ainas. It is categorized as an earth diver myth. There once lived an old man and old woman, sky god Numiturum and the fertility goddess Cultus. They lived in a cottage in the middle of an ocean. They lived like that for a long time until one day a rumble was heard from the upper sky. The old man looked outside the window and saw that from the sky fell a loon who landed on the water and was looking for land. It dived into the water 3 times until it finally found a bit of mud and flew with it back to the sky. The next day, a rumble was heard again. The same loon came down from the sky and was looking for land again. After diving into the water 3 times, it came out with mud on its beak. The loon rubbed the mud on the house where the old man and old woman lived and flew back to the sky once again. The mud grew and grew, and after 3 days, the whole world was covered in it. Pretty wild, eh?
Yeah.
And then I figured we'd finish with this fun, maybe not so fun, but interesting story that I thought you'd get a kick out of. I think we kind of maybe touched on it while we were out hunting. So I tracked it down. But this is a deadly day for duck hunters. More than 150 people lost their lives in the Armistice Day storm of 1940, including dozens of waterfowlers who were caught unprepared by a sudden and ferocious blizzard.
What?
Crazy, right? It was a hurricane 900 miles from the nearest ocean on the ragged edge of winter with the thermometer hovering just below zero. The day the storm hit and the night that followed, Dale Engler of Alma, Wisconsin was out on Crooked Slough, a backwater on the Mississippi River about 50 miles southeast of St. Paul, Minnesota. The memory still haunted him decades later. I'm very thankful that I got out of that ordeal. I was frostbitten feet and frozen hands and ears, he wrote in 1963. I'm not counting all the nightmares I had the first few years after that day, and every single one, I'm still in that icy water, getting weaker and weaker, swimming toward a dark, snow-covered shore that is never there. The storm was born in the gray expanse of the North Pacific, a low-pressure system that raised gale warnings along the west coast during the night of November 6, 1940, and into the next morning, it roared up the Columbia River to buffet the Tacoma Narrows suspension bridge. The bridge fell down, blah, blah, blah. It was the first cold front of the season after a long Indian summer, and it sparked interest among the area's duck hunters, especially those who were off from work or school because of the holiday. Frank Hubbard was a teenager living near Fort Dodge, Iowa. It was foggy with a light drizzle and warm. He remembered 40 years later. I had hunted about 3 miles of the stretch when a large flock of mallards hooked in out of the murk and blah, blah, blah. In all my days, I can't recall such a rapid change in weather. With the wind came an almost unbelievable drop in temperature, and the drizzle changed to heavy, wet snow. Where there were no ducks before, the creek was now full of them. That's how it was along the prairie creeks in central Iowa. The center of low pressure passed almost 200 miles west of Chicago. So here it is here. Equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane, the temperature at noon was a balmy 63 degrees. By 6 o'clock that evening, it had dropped to 26. The gale pushed the water of Lake Michigan to the northeast, causing a drop of 4.8 feet along the lakefront. Can you imagine that? It's so windy that the water drops 4 feet on the far side of the lake.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
The Milwaukee airport recorded gusts of 80 miles per hour. In Minneapolis, the wind rose and it started to snow. The first flakes of what would be an accumulation of 16 inches in 24 hours. As the storm spun towards the upper Mississippi, scores of duck hunters along the river laid plans to take advantage of the cold front, as we do. The weather forecast said was terse but promising for a wildfire, snow and colder today and Monday. At 10 o'clock on the morning of November 11th, the thermometer in Winona, Minnesota stood at 50 degrees. A local weather observer recorded a shift in the wind and watched the temperature drop 8 degrees in 15 minutes. Around noon, Angler rowed his skiff across the backwaters to an island along the river channel. Like most of the young men along the river at that time, he knew small boats and hunting on the river. It had been raining lightly, so he was wearing a canvas hunting jacket, hit boots over canvas pants, and a wool shirt. There's a picture of all the snow. About 2 o'clock, the rain turned into wind-driven sleet and snow, and within the next 2 hours, I saw more waterfowl than I've ever seen in my life. About that time, some hunters started to go ashore, but I thought it was just an early snowstorm and paid no attention. I was having the time of my life. Red-headed mallards by the thousands were flying over on both sides of me. By this time, those ducks coming down the river had gusts of 60-mile-per-hour tailwind behind them. Hundreds of ducks came past me within 15 feet, probably going around 80 miles per hour. So, then it gets down to where it starts to get shitty. Snow is falling.
Hang on a sec.
Okay, wait.
At 3:45, I had 5 mallards and 2 canvasbacks, big, plump northern ducks.
Now it was time to get home and thaw out. 2 hunters had been shooting off the south end of the same island I was on and decided to walk down and see if they had a big boat. Maybe I could bum a ride across Crooked Slough. Snow was falling so heavily by now that visibility was around 40 feet and it was getting dark. I got to the south area just in time to help both hunters out of the water. Their boat had broached and swamped. I saw I didn't have a chance with my skiff, so I think they were saying there's 5-foot rollers on the river.
Holy shit.
The 3 men tried to start a fire without success. An angler decided he would attempt to swim across the backwater and get help. He stashed his shotgun, hip boots, and jacket under his overturned skiff and walked to the water's edge. I couldn't see over 30 feet in front of me as I stepped into the raging river. He recalled the waves were about 3 feet high. Almost every wave was going over my head. I don't know how long I had been swimming when I bumped into a stump and found I could finally touch bottom. On shore, he came across 2 hunters who had started a large fire. After he had warmed up, he made his way back to his car and drove home, where he called authorities and reported the position of the 2 men on the island. It was the most miserable day I ever lived through. 3 other young Winona men found themselves in similar circumstances. They had gone out to the river around noon. Quickly became evident there was no normal cold front with no landmarks visible. They ran around 4 times. Then the outboard died. The 2 older hunters dragged the boat off the mud bar and paddled in a direction ashore. The waves drove them into an islet. The 2 men jumped out, but before Sharon could move, a wave broke over the stern and soaked them to the skin. It was clear that they weren't going to find their way out of the bottoms until the storm abated. The thing I remember best was the unending scream of the wind, Sharon later said of the experience. The sound of distant gunshots reached us several times, far off yells for help. So anyway, there's some pictures of the boats covered in ice. Others weren't so lucky. Responding to the news of the imminent impending cold front, Carl Taras of Winona gathered up his two sons, 17 and 16, along with their friend for a day of waterfowling. When the wind shifted and intensified, they were cut off from dry land and took what shelter they could find in a stand of cattails. Gerald watched the other members of the party die from hypothermia. Wernick first, then Ray. Carl held on until moments before the rescuers arrived the next morning. Gerald had dug partway into a muskrat house. The rescuers reported a last-ditch effort that may well have saved his life. There's those guys pulling out a boat. Many details from other stories are lost forever. On the Wednesday after the storm, the bodies of St. Paul hunters Roy Johnston and Thomas Sigler were discovered, partly covered with snow on the shore of the mainland. The John boat had apparently been swamped by the waves. They made it to dry land, but soaked to the skin with the wind-driven snow, obliterating any landmarks. They had not found warmth and shelter in time. The same day, Coast Guard searcher came across the body of Red Wing, Minnesota resident Joseph Elk on an island in the river. On Thursday, the body of another missing man, Bror Kronberg of St. Paul, was discovered. Kronberg had managed to get his boat to shore in the teeth of the storm, but searchers found his body under the lee of a haystack nearby, where he'd managed to burrow into the hay before he succumbed to the deepening cold. Estimates of the total number of deaths vary. The National Weather Service reported that 154 lives were lost. Among those, 69 were crew members on ships and fishing boats lost on Lake Michigan. 27 Midwest duck hunters died. So I think did we talk about that when we were hunting?
Yeah, we did.
Duck hunting gets so good when the storm's coming in that people stay out till they're dead.
I don't think we talked about that, but
I mean, I don't think it could happen as bad these days, because it's like, I mean, if you got out on the lake, you can't get back in the boat, you're in trouble. You could get into trouble. You wouldn't want to overnight in something like that, even nowadays, if you couldn't get a fire going. Most of the places I go, though, it's a walk in, walk out. So, but I mean, I did, it's good. We almost got lost the one night trying to find where the truck is. Because it just gets pitch black out and you're just walking through rolling hills.
Oh.
It's cloudy, so you have no markers. So you come out one spot and the fucking trucks, oh, there it is, way the fuck over there.
Well, don't forget when you see those rolling hills, like you might see something up there, but you have no idea that you're going up and down 4 hills till you get to that spot. So then you can't see, even though it's flat prairies, you still can't see the thing for another who knows how long. It's very strange, right?
It's wild times. Yeah, you could get fucking lost out there for sure. You could see how it could happen. Why you could possibly need a GPS in the middle of the prairies. As soon as it gets cloudy, you're screwed. As soon as you can't see like the North Star or the sun or the something. When it's bright out, it's never too bad. It's always just when it's dark. It's always dark on the way out. After you've walked in the dark. But anyway. I thought that was kind of fun. The duck thing is crazy how they're all from this creation myth, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Makes you wonder if that was like the only thing left that they were eating.
Or after the cataclysm, maybe?
Yeah, like the ducks would have been specially sort of adapted to survive the cataclysm. They're already migrators, so they're primed away from that shit. Like, we're out of here. They're ubiquitous on every continent.
Oh, that's really interesting. So when the flood happens, the ducks just, move.
It would have probably been the first thing to start flying around again. So when you're in a place where all the food systems have been wiped out, it's like, hey, man, there's some fucking ducks, bro.
Yeah. And they're here. Wow, that is really interesting.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that was fun.
We appreciate you guys. We hope you liked our little roundup. Do head over to grimerica.ca/support. Sign up for monthly or make a one-time donation if you can. And if you like the roundup, go to Grimerica Outlawed, sign up for that podcast. You do get a free roundup every week as well. And then you just get a longer one if you're a member, so you can check that out. Let us know what you think. Check out adultbrain.ca for all the audiobooks. Contact atthecabin.com for trips and events. GrimericaCBD.com for gummies, tinctures, and all that fun stuff. Other than that, we love you guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.